Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our channel. I'm here today with Professor Abdullah Alkhaleel to discuss the last massacre which happened in Bondi Beach in Sydney. Professor Abdullah Alkhaleel is maybe the best to discuss this matter due to the fact that he's been living in Australia for a long time, and he's one of the best experts to discuss the subject. The reason that we are here today, that we both actually are very frustrated with the reaction of the media and the professionals or the officials in Australia toward the problem. We can't see anyone who's really pointing at the core of the problem. Of course, Professor Abdullah Alkhaleel is had his education 100% in Arabic. So I will be helping him to some extent in summarizing his ideas in English. So we can start, and please, Professor Abdullah, what do you think about the incidents in the first place and how you feel about it?
I must introduce the real views for your audience, Doctor. Thank you first for having me. And this introduction is to emphasize a huge difference between the reality and the false views. The reality is Islam has one view, has one law, has one explanation to Quran, has one book, one explanation to Quran. And this is the real Islam. Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, God gave him Quran. He taught this Quran to his companions. It came as chapters, and that to ease introducing this Quran to his companions, to teach them. He taught them this Quran. He explained every single word of this book. And he told them what is the meaning of each phrase. Because this book, it is very summarized. This book, it is not extended. It's not extracted. Because it's been designed by God. So it is going to fulfill the all needs of a full nation for a full empire for a long time. And the only one who has the authority to explain this Quran and to extract the information from it is the Prophet Muhammad himself. And that's directed by Allah himself. He gave it to him, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is explain it to his companions. His companions took that explanation, which is very big, huge. Prophet stay as on earth as 24 years as a prophet, and each word, each action, each agreement, each silencing, if he saw something and he did not deny it, all of it are law. 24 years. 8,000 days, if he issued every day 40, 50 law like this, he left a legacy of 1 million law. And this 1 million law, as you see, Doctor, it is impossible to transfer it laterally. They took it by meanings from him, and they gave it back to their students, to the next generations, by meaning. That's for the first century and the beginning of the second century.
So what you're trying to say that in reality, there should be only one single authenticated version of Islam, which was transferred by the Prophet Muhammad to his companions, and those who actually explained it to their students in a very concise way. because otherwise, if they left it for people just to understand it as they want, we would be in big trouble. So what happened next? What happened after 200 years or 300 years of after the death of Prophet Muhammad?
After the death of Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, his companions keep spreading, teaching, expanding this knowledge to the next generations. And there was in every science, in every activity, there are a people, they are genius, a people, they are experts, a people, they are more intelligent than the others. So they become the teachers of the professors of this law in Islamic history. These people, they have a lot of students from the next generation. The next generation, there are also genius people. They lead this movement. And then at the end of the first century, they start to document this information. They wrote it down on not papers. There was no papers. It is leather sheets that shoulders boards of the shoulders of camels, huge bone, and writing and documenting this laws. It was very expensive, so they need a subsidies from the government. And the government gave them subsidies, not for everyone, only for that genius people. There was in every city one of them. In every Islamic city, there was one of them. But they were not all successful. There was only 4. They were successful very much. So they finalized their copies, their documentation. One is Imam Abu Hanifa, one is Imam Malik. He is based in Medina, the city of Prophet. Abu Hanifa, he based in southern Iraq. Imam Shafi'i, he based in Egypt. And Imam Ahmad, he based in Baghdad. These 4 copies, each copy contains 1 million something law. And it is 95% match to each other. Completely, it looks like each other. But the formation of words, it's a little bit different. And there are some few differences in a very small details. And that differences not making any concern for any of the scholars and their students. And it was very acceptable, very legalized, no problem with it. And it was something natural, because the human beings are not perfect. And this transferring, it is not perfect 100%, but it is perfect for 95 something percent or more.
Okay, so after that, we had 4 imams who took the lead in transferring this knowledge, the knowledge about the religion, to people. And those 4 imams nearly agreed up to 95% with most of their jobs. Of course, with some differences here and there, but those were not concerning and would not really make any difference between them. Yeah, go ahead.
And after this documenting, it was a documenting era. It was about 60, 70 years of documenting this law. This law, it's containing 2 laws. First is the law of how to pray, how to deal with the others, how to trade, how to get married, your activities, since you wake up until you sleep, the birth, before the birth even, until after the death. And this law, it's been documented very well by them, very specific, very classified, and it was, authenticated by the state. Mm-hmm. Each Islamic state were taking one of these copies as the law of the state. For example, the eastern side of Islamic world, they took all of them, the copy of Abu Hanifa. The western side, they took the copy of Malik. The central side, it is Egypt and Yemen and some of part of Syria and the Holy Land, they took Shafi'i. Some parts of central of Arabic Peninsula, they took Ahmad bin Hanbal is copy, and it is actually the smallest one. Ahmad bin Hanbal's copy, it is the smallest one. And the second copy is the copy of ideology. And this copy of ideology, it is been, in every, it was not in one certain book, it was spread all around the books of these imams. There are two imams came after that. They took that ideology law and they wrote it in special books. And these imams are two. It's authenticated copies. One is Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, one is Imam Abu Mansur al-Maturidi. And after them, this door is being closed. The documentation is over. No inventing any law, no producing any law, and that's it.
So you're talking about
at the end of the third century.
Okay, so at the end of the 2nd century, after the death of Prophet Muhammad, the transferring continues through two imams, the Maturidi and al-Ash'ari, and those were the end. Yes, those were the end of the story. So it should have been stopped at that point, and no one should actually be adding anything after those two imams. Unfortunately, things did not go that way. So can you continue for us where the problem started?
Yes. Things actually stopped after the death of Abu Mansur al-Maturidi. Stopped completely. Okay. And that stay until this moment. No one is authorized to issue any kind of law. If you want to go and to study the Islamic law and to teach this Islamic law, you have to follow one of these copies. A copy in practicing, which is Abu Hanifa or Malik or Shafi'i or Ahmad, you take one. And for ideology, we take one. Maturidi or Ash'ari. That's it. You cannot go and say, I'm going to make my own copy for ideology or making my own copy of law. It's been closed completely until this moment.
How did we end having those groups like Wahhabism and Muslim Brotherhoods?
The English people, they led the three crusaders campaigns against Islamic world. And these three campaigns, two of them failed catastrophically. The third one, it was successful military. So they want to stop Muslims from regathering each other and fight back. How to do this? It is by changing their religion, their cultural, their idea. They went to a very old books for one rebel sheikh. He died in prison. No one is recognizing him. His name is Ibn Taymiyyah. This Ibn Taymiyyah, his legacy, it is banned from all around the Islamic world. All of it. And been destroyed. But copies of his books been, stored some way in the universities or in the libraries of the universities of Europe. This man, he suggested this. He said we should go to the speech of the Prophet and explain Quran by helping of the speech of the Prophet and avoiding going to that copies of these four imams. Mm-hmm. Because we can produce laws from the phrase, the exact phrase of the Prophet. This exact phrases, exact literally words of Prophet Actually, it is all doubtful according to the whole Islamic scholars, and it is not authenticated by all of them, except 200 speech only, because these 200 speech are just being transferred by a huge group to the huge group to huge group to huge group, and all of it, it's undeniable, because all of them, all of the informations, the explanations of these 200 speech are just accounted by all ulama, recognized by all ulama, by all scholars. But this man, he suggested we should avoid all this, go back to the book, explain the book by the speech of Prophet, and if we did not find the speech of Prophet, we go to the speech of Sahaba. And if we do not find the speech of Sahaba, we can, produce it by thinking, by trying to invent it, trying استنتاج بالعربي شو يعني؟
استنتاج conclusions.
Concluded from the phrases of Quran and the speech of Prophet. I just want to tell you, this speech of Prophet, it's been documented very late. And it was a side documentary process just to protect this speech from being eliminated. Because it is very little. It's only 4,000 hadith. And all of them are very doubtful. Muslim, Bukhari, Ibn Majah, Tirmizi, all of them, they said, even him, the writer of these books, the documenter, he did not say that the Prophet said this. He said, I've heard from my sheikh, and it's upon him. Allah will ask him if he's telling the truth or not. And he took it from his sheikh, from that Sahabi, because it's a very huge sin to say that the Prophet said something and you did not say it, exact phrases comes from his mouth. Exact, laterally how it is coming from his mouth. And it is likely to be impossible, because even these 4,000 hadith, it is all have something being repeated. One Sahabi tell the hadith by his own, by his words. He's tried to bring the words of the Prophet. The other one tried to bring the exact words of Prophet. And there are a series of transferers. And these transferers, all of them, they can make mistakes. So that's why all our sheikhs are not going, they banned us from going to the book of hadith or to Quran or to the explanation of Quran. So how to go to the books of history and to try to bring glow by the books from the books of history? It is completely banned. No one goes to there and they try to conclude any kind of any rule from these phrases. It's been closed since the end of the 3rd century. They said, no, we can't do this, and they opened this door by the help of man. His name is Jamaluddin Afghani.
Okay, so here I just want to clarify a few points, not to miss those important points. So this hadith or speech of the Prophet was written between 200 to 300 years after the death of Prophet Muhammad, correct?
Correct.
Ibn Taymiyyah lived something between 600 to 700 years after the death of Prophet Muhammad, approximately.
Exactly.
So this hadith, this speech of the Prophet is doubtful. No one is 100% sure about it. What this rebellion, Ibn Taymiyyah, did is to change the whole way that Muslims should understand Islam. And he said, no, the Prophet, we have here a speech, which is actually very doubtful. This speech should be the main concept to explain Quran, not those 4 imams which we talked about before. So, and he was considered a very bad person, and he actually died in jail. and all his books were burnt, and but some books leaked somewhere. And as you started your speech, when Wahhabism came, it was supported by the British in the north of Arabia, or now Saudi Arabia. And then there was an alliance between Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, the one who created Wahhabism, and Al Saud, which are actually now the leaders or the kings of Saudi Arabia. So here where the problem started, and that you blame the British government because they supported this movement, which I think is something like now maybe 270, 280 years, something like that, maybe ago. I don't remember the dates very well, but that was around the end of the 18th century, correct?
The beginning of the 19th century.
Okay, the beginning of the 19th century. Okay, so let's start from Jamal al-Din al-Afghani. What has Jamal al-Din al-Afghani did?
Jamal al-Din al-Afghani, he's Shi'i. He's not Sunni. But he is a big scholar of Masonic. And he introduced himself as Islamic scholar. And he went to Egypt. He got authority from the British to start something, they call it the reforming of Islam, the reforming operation of Islam. This reforming operation, it is counted on one thing: throw all the legacy of Islamic law, Islamic ideology, going back to the book, going back to the speech, and to try to conclude a new ideology, a new law by different ways. This man, he has many students. One of them is I forgot his name. He was Sheikh al-Azhar. And the other one, his name is the owner of Al-Manar. The owner of Al-Manar. Anyway, their student is Hassan al-Banna and Nawab Safawi. Hassan al-Banna and Nawab Safawi, these two, they said officially, we are going to make a political movement adopting the idea of throwing the whole legacy of fiqh, the whole legacy of law, the whole legacy of aqidah, conclude a new one. And Hassan al-Banna made, believe it or not, doctor, within 4 years under the British authority, and he was 24 years only. Some said he was 22 years only, and he's not Islamic scholar. He's not sheikh. He is nothing. He's just a journalist. And he made organization of 500,000 of members in all round Egypt. All they have one target: getting rid of the British. And he found them, I don't know where from. Maybe he was trafficking hashish or something, you know?
He was in Saudi Arabia before he started, actually. He got the same funding. The initial funding was from Saudi Arabia.
From the British. Saudi Arabia means the British.
They were, according to you, they were working together, and that was not a secret.
Yeah. So they both, and Nawab Safawi said, we are going to copy the effort of Hassan al-Banna and take it to the Shia community, because Shia community said, if there are no imam is getting inspiration from God living on earth, we cannot practice the law, we cannot practice the Islamic law. Only by the authority of this imam we can practice it. Nawab Safawi said, this imam, he visited him and he told him that the scholars of Shia, they can practice the Islamic law, the copy of Islamic law, they have it. And actually it is not a copy of Islamic law, it's a copy of rebels law. Anyway, and he invented wilayat al-faqih. Wilayat al-faqih. And he invented Fidaiyan Islam. So Ikhwan Muslimin in Egypt, Fidaiyan Islam in Iran. And Muhammad Abdo and Rashid Ruda, I just forgot their names, they are major players in this game. They were supporting the idea of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and especially Rashid Ruda. He invented something they call it as-Salafiyya. It is a matched copy between Muslim Brothers and Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, adopting the ideas of them and making a new copy. They call it as-Salafiyya. All these copies supported by the British, funded by the British, and the proxy who is organizing them and helping them and funding them, the states of Gulf area.
Okay. So Jamaluddin al-Afghani, who was Shia, came up with the new ideas of the whole explanation how to understand Islam. So we ended having Wilayat al-Faqih in Iran. Wilayat al-Faqih means that there is al-Faqih who represents the last Imam of Shia, who's now Ayatollah Khamenei, practically, and before was al-Khomeini. And in Egypt, that was in Iran. And in Egypt, they started the Muslim Brotherhood by Hassan al-Banna, who was just a journalist. And from here, with the idea of Muhammad Abdo,
and Rashid Ruda.
Muhammad Abdo,
and Rashid Ruda.
And Rashid Ruda. So they came up with the al-Salafi, ideas, which means that they follow the original Muslims from the time of Muhammad, the Prophet. So that's what meaning of the al-Salafi. So those Salafis actually is a sort of a mixture or new version of Wahhabism and Muslim Brotherhood's idea or ideology. And here where it started. So here where we started having a new version of Islam, separated in, let's say, 3 branches: Wahhabism in Saudi Arabia, Muslim Brotherhoods in Egypt, and Wilayat al-Faqih in Iran. So what is next?
What's next? The next is the difference between us and them, between the original Islam and them. It's 2 points. First, the law of peace and war. That's the major differences which is concerning the Western countries. I'm not talking about how to pray, the family law. They just corrupted all of these things. But these 2 points are the most important one. The law of peace and war. It is totally different between us and them. I was just for a few moments in the rooms of TikTok of four Muslim brothers. They were trying, the spokesman, he was trying to conclude a law for peace and war from the history of the Prophet, from the history of the Prophet. And the history, it's not something you can count in, and not acceptable by any kind of any way, any measurement of Islamic studying. They go and they make a new law for war and peace. This new law, it is just, you can symbolize it. You are with Muslim brothers, you are their friend, you are safe, your life is safe, your money is safe, we can't launch war against you. You are not with them, you are an enemy, we can kill you, we can take your money, we can persecute you, we can take your rights, we can do whatever we want. The Salafiyat have the same, Wilayat al-Faqih, they have the same. And the second thing, they go to the prophecies. The prophecies according to our copy, it will never mandate any kind of orders. A prophecy is a prophecy. You read it, and when it happened, that's it. The prophet was telling the truth. We celebrate that this prophecy has been achieved. That's all. Nothing to do, nothing, no law, no orders. But they are part of Jewish people, that very extremist Jewish. They took the prophecies in their book as an order. You must achieve the prophecy. You must do it. You must bring it to life. They had the same idea. And you know that there are a link between them, the British, the very good proxy, the British. They had the same idea. In Quran, وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزَّبُورِ مِنْ بَعْدِ الذِّكْرِ أَنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. There are a prophecy in Quran that Islam will conclude the whole world. Every single man on earth, one day, they will become Muslims. But this prophecy is not mandating anything to Muslims. They said, no, we must achieve this legacy, this prophecy, and we must prepare ourselves to conquer the whole world by every way, by every possible option. And they said there are priorities in conquering. The first thing is conquering the Islamic society. Their priority is to eliminate us, the original scholars, the original copies of Islam. Eliminate us by killing us or changing our ideology or muting us so no one can listen to us or hear us. And the British actually supported these three choices. They gave them the chance to go to the media. If you go and open the Google, ask any Islamic question, you will find many answers, all of them by sites of Salafiyat or Ikhwan. You will never find an answer by scholars like me. You will never find it, because we've been muted by the intelligence, Western intelligence, so we cannot spread our peaceful, our correct views of Islam to the public.
So
and these two major differences are making their policy in every single society they live in.
Yeah. So to summarize that, now we have those three lines, three new lines, Wilayat al-Faqih, Wahhabism, and the Muslim Brotherhoods. They considered whoever is not in their side is an enemy. Whoever is in their side is the real Muslims, full stop. The second thing is that when it comes to prophecies, like as you said in that verse of Quran, that Islam will dominate at the end of the world, but this means when Jesus comes back and Prophet Muhammad comes back at the end of the life.
The Prophet Muhammad will not come back, Jesus will come back.
Jesus will come back, and everyone will become Muslims, which is actually the same actually in Judaism and Christianity, by the way. They believe the same way. Those three lines or those three groups believed that it was their duty to make that happen, while originally Muslims believed it as just a prophecy. It happens when it happens, and under or by the wish of the God. So this meant that those people or those three lines would establish organizations wherever they are to make that happen. And here where they started infiltrating among their own people and the other societies all over the world including in Australia. And unfortunately, we believe that especially the British governments all over the years was actually supporting them, allowing them to expand, giving them facilities, while people like you were muted, were excluded, and now they nearly have no voice at all. So here we come to the core of the problem. My understanding that we have now in Australia groups of those maybe three parties, Wilayat al-Faqih in Iran, and the Wahhabism in Saudi Arabia, and the Muslim Brotherhoods in Egypt. Those are working on ground in Australia to recruit terrorists and to brainwash all the youth brains, in Australia, and to make them like soldiers for them, intoxicating their minds with anti-Semitism and the hate of others, hate of the local culture, hate of democracy. And here where the problem starts. So now I would like you to explain to us, because here we came to the problem, to explain to us how those groups works on ground in Australia to achieve the prophecy.
It is the Saudi Arabia funding, the Iranian funding, and the recognition of the government. They had established associations. These associations dominating every single Islamic facility in this country. The Shiite facilities are dominated by Wilayat al-Faqih. The Sunnis the facilities are dominated by Muslim Brothers and Salafiyat. And these facilities not even teaching the people how to pray, how to live in your life. We have a lot of law, Islamic law, a lot of activities. We should learn it, practice it. Nothing of that. They only just teaching on Al-Jum'ah praying, their private lessons, their meetings, their social activities, that ideas of Salafiyat, that ideas of Muslim Brothers, and how to achieve the goal of bringing every Muslim to follow these groups, every single Muslim to follow these groups, and to spread hate to us first. We are their first enemies, according to them, and to teach the ordinary Muslim that we are a people of myth, a people of lies, a people of crazy magic ideas. And they try to condemn us anyway, by every way they can do, to make us muted. Everyone look at us as an enemy, or this is a corrupted person, this is not good Muslim, he is bad Muslim, or he is not even Muslim. And they are spreading these ideas day and night, all round the time. And to achieve their goal, they ask everyone to make charities. And this is the most dangerous thing. They collect the charities from the people. They said to them, we are going to spread the word of Allah. Give us charity. They built more mosques. They educated more young boys. And they put them on that mosques, in leadership of that mosques, to teach more, to spread more of these poisons. And they are a big, huge part of these charities are going directly, and I'm alleging that it is directly goes to support Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard in Saudi Arabia. In Iran. And they are Hezbollah in Saudi Arabia being funded by these charities. These charities actually making a huge empire of big cartel. It's dominating our streets, occupying our schools, occupying and dominating our youth, spreading every single kind of illegal activities, because they believe and they teach their followers that this country and the whole Western country are the war zone. And in the war zone, it is allowed to you to do everything. You can steal, you can lie, you can sell drugs, you can break the law any way you want, and we will protect you. Actually, they have a huge big, as I mentioned to you, a huge big groups of lawyers, and they have lobbies inside the security organizations in this country, the security institutions, the what they call it, even in the parliament. They have in Europe, in America, in Canada, and in here. They have their own lobbies who are supporting them and protecting them. These people, their business is to fertilize the Islamic community in this country. So Ayatollah Khamenei, the top leader of all these groups, this is the fact, Khamenei is the top leader of all these groups. When he wanted to launch any huge attack in any Western country, these facilities, they can pick up 1, 2, 3 people like Naveed, equipping them, training them, and send them to express the hate of Khamenei to everyone, making massacres in Bondi, or making massacres in anywhere, or doing that, blowing up somewhere, and that is their main business.
Okay, so I'll try to summarize. It's a bit complex. Please correct me or stop me if I'm saying anything wrong. So here we have associations in Australia. Those associations are funded by 3 main sources: Iran, by Wilayat al-Faqih, the Muslim Brotherhood represented by Qatar, so the main money actually comes from Qatar, and the long-term investment of the Muslim Brotherhoods all over the world. Actually, it is expected to be something like $400 billion, their assets all over the world. And the third one is, of course, the Saudi money, which is, that's the Wahhabist money, which is either governmental or personal. Now, those organizations or associations are funded in a way that they build mosques and mosque and mosque and mosque, and just to justify bringing money, like money laundering. And they intoxicate the brain of the youth, and they bring those young people to be leaders, to teach others how to become terrorists. And those youth, instead of playing sports or having clubs or things, they just make those groups to learn how to become terrorists. And especially you believe that actually the head of the snake is in Iran, according to what you believe. And people like Naveed, who committed the Bondi Beach massacre with his son, those were always ready. You know, they are educated, they are recruited, they just need the green light to go. And here I have a question that just to judge on how, you know, officials here, you know, in Australia think. They were surprised that Naveed and his son spent some time in the Philippines before they committed their crimes. And they said to the media that there was no connections, they didn't have any training, blah, blah, blah. While what they don't understand that actually they went to Philippines to have fun before they die. So they went there to enjoy women and drugs and drinks and enjoy life. That's the last enjoyment. And then they came back to Australia to commit their crime. So my understanding that with the funding of those three groups and the control, the full control on those associations on mosques, and people like you are persecuted, are bullied, are attacked, are told names, even they made you even non-Muslims. So people like you are not heard, have no power at all, on grounds, and they didn't exist anymore. While they are controlling the street in Australia, and full control. They have lawyers, they have money, they have maybe even banks. We don't know. They are ready to spend.
They have banks. They have banks.
They are ready to spend billions of dollars to make those youth and those people more extremists and more terrorists. But they never actually put any money to improve their situation, to improve education, to make sport clubs, to make meeting between
social clubs.
No social life.
Nothing.
No, young girls don't see young boys. Marriage is organized. Even those, they may never see each other even. So they are living back in history with a mentality of Stone Age. And they are just creating those groups of terrorists. And unfortunately, that's my personal opinion, that since the creation of ISIS when ISIS actually ruled the game in Syria and Iraq in 2014, many Australians, many women and men went to join them. But no one knows why. No one takes an action.
Because these associations are recruiting these guys, these girls, and they took them to the heaven in ISIS, in Iraq and Syria, and they send them to death. And these people, they just believe that if they're being killed by the Syrian people, actually they did not attack the Americans or anyone. They attack us.
Yes.
They killed mainly us, Sunnis in Iraq and Syria. They killed us. They said, we are not anymore Muslims. We are infidels. We must be eliminated. And they killed us first. And they told them that if one of them has been killed or died while fighting us, he's going to heaven. All his sins will be abolished and he will go direct to heaven, even if he blow up himself. They change the law. They make suicide is a kind of, it is condemned 100% by Islam. 100%. If you commit suicide for any reason, you will go to hell. No choice, no chance. They commit suicide. They said, you killing yourself. You are going to heaven now. You kill yourself. You go now to heaven. Just kill Sunnis. Just kill Sunnis. Us. Ash'ari, Maturidi. Kill us. Kill Sufis. Kill us. And these ideas, it's been spreaded by people. They are very well known here in Australia, by the community, by the security organizations, the authorities. They know them. They did not touch them. 4 brothers from here, from family here in Sydney. 4 brothers, 22, 20, 18, 16, they went to Syria, they all died. And who recruited them? They are now driving 4-wheel drives, luxury cars, living in big villas, having a big accounts in the bank, and they have their own mosque. And when they come to make speech, Jum'ah or something, they come just like kings, like kings. And they start to speak just like, you know how the King Charles, he just makes speech? Just like King Charles. And they are very arrogant. And they are having 2, 3 wives. No one is coming to them. No one is just asking them, where did you bring this money from? What you have done? So that's why I'm telling everyone in Australia from your channel, we need a royal commission to investigate every single Islamic association in this country, every single Islamic facility, every single Islamic leader of any association or man in charge of any association in this country, charity or education or worshipping, and they must investigate every single dollar they had it, where they take it, where they spend it, because they are now with no control completely, no watching dog. No one is just knowing what they are doing, no questioning. And the decision by the government surprised me when they said, we don't need a royal commission. The first priority in Australia to make a royal commission on these facilities to cut off every single dollar to these corrupted cartels who are spreading instability, terror, hate, corruption in every single place where Muslims are existing in Australia.
Yes, I was surprised, like you, actually, when the Prime Minister, Mr. Anthony Albanese, said, no, we will just do unofficial investigations or inquiry. I was shocked, actually, because such inquiry does not have the power to go that deep, and actually has no power, because it's just like any police investigations. You need an order for every move. You need a warrant for every move you need to do. A royal commission is having the power from the parliament, independent, has full power on every single corner of this problem, and would investigate every single piece of paper, every single dollar, how it comes and how it goes. All those leaders who are ruling the games in Australia, recruiting those youth to go to die and kill people while they are, as we said, driving, luxury cars and Mercedes and BMW, and they believe they are acting like kings. No one even asks them what to do. What are you doing? So we need really this to be changed for the sake of this country and for the sake of our people, because at the end of the day, we all are paying the price. Not only the Jewish community, community. We
are the main loser of these violence, terrorist activities. We are the main losers. We've been hated by every Australian. They look at us, all of us, as a non-condemned criminals, a project of killers. And in fact, if you want to secure the security of this country, so the event of Bondi never happened again, this is the only way. A royal commission for every single Islamic association in this country.
Full power.
Every single, full power investigation.
Yes.
Every single, and give a confidential option for everyone want to testify in front of this royal commission.
Yeah, of course.
Give them full protection.
Give them full protection.
Because they are going to bring the roots of a huge network of criminal cartels.
And corruption. On all levels.
Yes.
All levels. Yes.
In all levels.
We don't know who's
the life of this country.
We don't know who's involved till we have a royal commission.
It's not only Muslims. It's not only Salafiyat. It's not only Ikhwan. It's not only Wilayat al-Faqih. There are a lot of people who are cooperating with them. They are not even Muslims.
Yes, of course, because they make money. That's what corruption is about.
Yes.
That's what corruption is about. Okay, Professor Abdullah, we spent nearly 1 hour. Actually, I think we covered all points very, very well. And that's the demand of this interview. And we'll try to spread our voice without a royal commission as soon as possible, urgently to be established in Australia. We all are going to hell. More trouble, more terrorism, more killing, more hatred. And we are actually, people like me and you, people who are speaking Arabic especially, we are the main losers. Unfortunately, we are the main losers.
The crimes of this cartel, it is escalating very quickly. I noticed since 2015 till now, it's escalating 300, 400, 500% in every single corner. You cannot, in the areas of Western Sydney, open a business without paying a protection fees to them.
Mafia. You have to pay them ransom to allow you to have business.
Exactly.
So they are mafia now. Yes, they are very strong. They are like an octopus. They have legs everywhere, legs and hands everywhere, eyes everywhere. So yeah, it's already spreading like cancer.
Exactly.
It is spreading like cancer. Yeah. So if we don't take an action as soon as possible, it could be too late later. Because as I said, ISIS happened 12 years back and they did nothing. They did nothing. They allow hatred speech against Jews. They want to exterminate the Jews in the land of Israel. They want to kill every Jew all over the world, and they allow them in the middle of the street. You know, they demonstrate, they raise the voice loud, and then they get surprised. Oh, why do we have anti-Semitic, actions in Australia where you are allowing them? You're not taking an action. And actually, I heard the story that in one meeting in a hall in Melbourne, there were, let's say maybe a few hundreds of people inside, 200-300 people, and they were chanting and waving the flags of ISIS inside the hall. So one guy called the police. He said, "Come see what's happening." He said, "Where is it happening?" He said, "Inside the hall, blah, blah." He said, "Okay, if they are inside the hall, we cannot do anything. But if they go out, let us know."
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. That's a joke.
Yeah.
That's a joke. So inside the hall, it's okay. Wait them till they go out. That's really a joke. Seriously, those people, they don't want to act. They have no idea how serious it is.
The last demand is the government should adopt a program to de-radicalize the people who are following these ideas.
Of course.
They are allowed. Their brain has been washed and they need to be fixed. It's not by sending them to psychiatrists or sending them to jail. They should send them to us so we can de-radicalize their brains.
Exactly. De-radicalization is a big mission. And that must be implemented also as soon as possible. But again, without royal commission to enforce those actions, we will end in nowhere. The problem will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And unfortunately, this government is not having a clue what to do, and they just don't see it. It's just unbelievable. And that's what has led us to this point. And I'm afraid that we are crossing the turning point where it cannot be fixed after.
Exactly.
I'm very worried about that because maybe we are crossing the point.
I'm really sorry for this country.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
It was a beautiful
actually
dream.
it's the best country all over the planet today. You know, Australia is maybe, you know, it's a dream for anyone to come to Australia. They are destroying it.
I think it was a beautiful dream.
Very sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very sad. Anyhow, I think we covered all points, unless you have, you know, something to add. Anything
Nothing.
to add?
Greetings to you and your audience.
You did very well. You did very well, Professor Alkhaleel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we can do something from this conversation, and we might meet again. You never know. We might meet again if anything happens. If really a royal commission is established at the end, hopefully. Thank you, Professor Abdullah, and have a good night. It's late time for you. It's already 10 o'clock in Sydney, so 10 p.m. Thank you very much, and have a good night. We'll talk later. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.